Okay, hey, back again for another week's episode of Network Special starring me, Nathan, and my co-host, Colin.
You always start with yourself. I mean, you could introduce me first one of these times.
But I'm talking.
That's a fair point. That's a good logical point, and I agree.
Thank you.
Don't change a thing.
Thanks. So what is this podcast anyways? This is a podcast about the golden age of...
You want me to try?
Don't you dare ask that again.
Why? I just wanted to know if you want to...
Go ahead, Trey.
No, I won't do. I don't want to step on... I feel like I stepped on toes. I feel like toes have been stepped on.
I'm wearing shoes. Go ahead.
But what if it's really good? Then it will be on weird... We'll be in a weird place.
Then I can freaking quit finally, and you could do this dumb thing.
Wait, quit the podcast or quit doing the introduction?
We'll talk about it later. Do the opening. Do the opening.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to.
All right.
I can do an introduction to a different like another podcast that I listen to, like This American Life or something like that.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, I gotta get in my my Glass voice.
Okay.
What's his name?
Ira Glass.
I wanted to say Ian. Why was I thinking Ian Glass? Who's Ian Glass, Nathan?
Someone less Jewish.
Yeah. Still some yeah. Member of the Glass family. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to do that, and I don't want to get sued by Ira Glass. So let's just proceed with the one that we came here to do.
Wait, he has trademarked the style of opening he does?
Yes. That like whiny kind of... I say that with all love because I love
whiny,
Ira Glass.
Oh, welcome to this week's episode.
Welcome to another episode where we pick a theme and then we tell a bunch of stories on that theme. Yeah,
dude, I'm cutting all this. I'm not getting sued.
Dude, I cannot play with fire like this. Ira Glass is one of our listeners. That'd be great if he was one of the listeners.
He's the guy who wrote the thing, the review, like making fun of my laugh.
He's upset about your laugh and the way that you guys got like a Star Wars fact wrong or something. Marvel, that's what it was. Marvel fact. You would find out it's him. That's fantastic. That and Joe Rogan listens. He got upset with you about something, I'm sure. And
he stopped listening. He stopped listening.
He stopped listening. Why? What caused that?
He just felt like we were copying his style too much.
You really do. You really do copy his style. I will give him that. You, Nathan, are constantly trying to be more like Joe Rogan.
So this is my impression of Joe Rogan. Okay, I want you to just give me some absolutely. This is my impression of Joe Rogan fact checking. Okay, and I want you to give me some absolutely insane statistic that is absolutely fake and false. Just anything.
Okay. The scary thing about the United States at this point is every single one of our state capitol buildings at this moment is completely engulfed in bright purple flames and have been that way for 350 years at least.
Wow.
That is kind of how he reacts to people just saying insane shit that's very clearly not true.
That's that's the level of fact checking he does. Wow.
Wow. Okay. That's good. It's interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you would never know that. Or I hadn't realized that, but I guess you're right. Yeah.
So, what is this show after all that, right? Does it even matter? People know the show. We go on this freaking show. We just talk about TV specials.
It's network special. It's a podcast about the golden age of appointment television.
Yeah,
where, when you wanted to watch something,
you
had to be there when
TV
it was on.
Guide,
TV Guide. VCR, primitive
Plus
VCR,
plus.
yeah, VCR plus, what have you, yada yada yada.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. We didn't have the TV Guide channel
We
like
didn't have
kids today.
I actually remember when this is making me feel like an ancient fossil person saying like I can actually remember, but I can't actually remember like when we first got that thing on cable TV that was like the channel. It's usually like channel 1, I think. It was the channel that would be the scrolling like menu thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool! Like it tells you everything that's on. And you would miss like the channel you were trying to look at, so you'd have to wait for it to go all the way around the bend again.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, oh, that's so cool. That's how old I am, and I'm apparently gonna die soon because I'm ancient.
That was back before you could change channels.
But if you're like, I don't want to flip through all the channels,
Yeah, I just want to have this
or I want to know
cozy music.
I want to know what's on in like a half hour. I want to know if after this episode of The Bell, Saved by the Bell that I'm watching, is there another one coming up, and what's that one about?
Or is it going to be the new episode of City Guys?
Is City Guys going to be? Is it maybe going to be an episode of Hangin' Tough?
You mean Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
No, not Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I'm talking about the show
what was
with Anthony Anderson, where they played basketball.
Hanging Tough?
Hang Time.
Hang Time.
Hang Time. Hanging together. Putting it all on the line. Hang Time. Those are probably not the right words, but they feel right in my head. Yeah, what did I say?
This is one I don't... Yeah, you said the New Kids on the Block. This is one I don't know for some reason.
You don't know Hang Time?
No.
What?
Strange.
I think Hang Time was an NBC Saturday morning show, which
Dude,
Saved by the Bell
was. I just like basically this big massive ball of nostalgia, basketball full of nostalgia just hit me in the face. They called themselves, NBC called themselves TNBC, and I absolutely forgot that it was called TNBC.
Is that teen?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it had Saved by the Bell, Double Up, which is a game show
Double Up, I don't remember.
Hosted by J.D. Roth, of course. California Dreams.
J.D. Roth?
Yes.
Did he? Shit. What was the other thing he hosted?
He hosted. He did like a kids version of the dating game.
J.D. Roth. I think I'm confusing him with J. Keith Van Stratton. Do you know him?
I always get those two. Mixed
Everybody does. Everybody's always saying that.
California Dreams, Name Your Adventure.
I don't know what that is.
NBA Inside Stuff.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Brains and Brawn. Running the Halls. Saved by the Bell, The New Class, Hang Time, City Guys, One World, Just Deal, and Skate with a SK.
A lot of those I don't recognize.
Number 8. Yeah. You know what? That's probably it's because this is from like 92 to 2002. And so I would say right around probably Hang Time. Well, City Guys I did watch a little bit.
Hang Time.
Right. I graduated in 96. I'm probably not like sticking around for Just Deal in 2002.
I'm proud to say that I saw a couple episodes, but I never got into Saved by the Bell, The New Class. I was like, I was defensive of Saved by the Bell or something. I was like, no, these new kids are not just going to walk through the halls of Bayside and act like they belong. Like, so I don't think so.
I went through, like I bought all the DVDs to all the Saved by the Bell and then also Saved by the Bell, The New Class because I found them on like...
Is that something you want to have admitted out loud?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool,
I found them on Amazon for like, sometimes I would find one season for like $1. So I'm like, oh, I'll just buy all these. And I went through Saved by the Bell, of course, because I had already seen it. And then I went through the college years, which I actually enjoyed. I was okay with. But then I decided to go through the New Class, which is like 7 seasons.
It's bad.
I couldn't get through the first season.
It was bad.
I think I remember thinking like, the show is bad when the best actor on the show is Screech.
Yeah.
Is Dustin Diamond.
Yep.
It was such a bad show.
What about Dennis Haskins?
I guess he's really the best one, but anyways, that doesn't work with my joke.
All right, well, I'm sorry. We'll edit that out. But the
Yeah.
it was bad. I hated it.
So TNBC, maybe we should start a podcast for TNBC. I'm more interested in that than this freaking movie we watched.
Hey, come on. This is another fantastic showing from Dan Hedaya. He was in a recent film we watched. And now he's in this, and I think he's bringing it. He was in another Midnight Run.
Can I just really quick, before we go deep into this, I was looking up I wanted to look up TNBC to see if there was a logo that I could just look at after we record. And
You're so weird.
TNBC,
You can just look at it and just stare at it.
Just no. And the top results are tragic. Triple negative breast cancer.
Ooh.
That just sounds like
Triple negative?
yeah. Like,
Is that good or
I
bad?
thought it was already pretty negative.
Well, you know how like negative test for something is good.
And then a double negative would be bad. So a triple negative.
I don't know what
no,
that
this
means.
is saying it's saying it's super aggressive.
Oh. Wait, why did that come up when you searched Teen NBC?
TNBC.
Oh.
You're right. I should have searched TNBC.
I didn't even piece together TNBC. Is that the acronym
There
makes
you
sense
go.
for that? Yeah. There you go.
Well, bad news, everyone. I don't see a logo, but I'll keep looking.
It's horrible news.
So this week's show, A Smoky Mountain Christmas from 1986, starring Dolly Parton.
Ugh. I think this is the worst thing that I've watched as a part of this podcast for sure. And if you'll remember back to when we did some like Halloween theme things, there was something that I really didn't like, the Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Oh my gosh, there's no way that this is even close.
No, I know. I'm saying I didn't like that for certain reasons. This made me love the Dark Knight of the Scarecrow by comparison. Because this is just bad, but it was weird. Like, I didn't understand what the hell was even happening some of the time. And then other times nothing was happening. So
I just okay, so I just want to read the synopsis.
read the plot
of this
line,
because so this is a Dolly Parton Christmas special, and she has made
a Dolly Parton joint.
a ton of these Christmas movies. Okay, I don't know if this is the first one she ever made, maybe, but she's made a ton of these, and in all of them, she's just it's basically a way to showcase her music. Like any artist at the time making a TV show. They're kind of like Elvis,
not her music that existed before that. Like, I think these are songs that were created for this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like these aren't like show. You're right. I guess it's not like she's singing songs from her greatest hits. No, she's writing the music for these, and. So let me just read, the synopsis. It's A Smoky Mountain Christmas, starring Dolly Parton, and a country and western singer on a trip through the Tennessee mountains runs into a reclusive backwoodsman. Okay, now I'm going to stop here. Okay, there's a comma after backwoodsman. Okay, so it says here. As she's taking a trip, she runs into a reclusive backwoodsman and then someone else. And I could give you $1 million and you wouldn't guess what the end of this sentence is. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I'll give you a second to try and guess. But a country and western singer on a road trip through the Tennessee mountain runs into a reclusive backwoodsman, and a witch.
When you sent me this and said, this is what I think we should watch this, I was like, that is not a real description. Like, there's no way that's a description of this movie. What what the heck is that? And then watching it, it didn't make it any more clear to me. And in fact, it made it more confusing. Like, weird. Really weird.
No,
and not explained at all in the show.
No, there's no origin story for this witch, by the way. This is just someone is in the Smoky Mountains. They are there to get, to get away. And while they're there, they run into a witch. And this witch has no agenda. It seems to be like
she's like, is she like in love with the sheriff?
Yes, that's the only reason why she. It's like she has this like grip on the sheriff. Like she's like in love with the sheriff, and she's super jealous because the sheriff seems to flirt with Dolly Parton, and then that's the reason why she's around.
Yeah, the sheriff is not like a love interest of Dolly Parton. Like she's like just dislikes him because he's just like skeevy and smarmy and weird the way he kind of like, flirts. I guess flirts is maybe the term, I guess, but he's just kind of like, yeah, he should be canceled. That's what I'm trying to get at. He should be canceled the way he acts. He'd get what is it called? No, what's the movement that my mind is blank. Thank you.
Me too.
I almost said no, ma'am. Which I think that's like the anti-women's group from Married with Children. From Married with Children. I'm like, why did that pop into my head? Oh my god.
So Teen NBC.
He gets no ma'am.
Teen NBC and no ma'am.
I haven't thought about that in so long.
That's funny.
Oh my god, he gets no ma'amed. He would get no ma'amed these days because of the way he behaves. Or
actually, he's a cop. He'd get off. So.
Yeah, he would. He could kill people and he'd be fine. Social commentary right there. But so
we didn't say who directed this.
Well, okay, we didn't even like touch on. I know we don't need to walk through the whole plot, but that's not even like everything that's kind of weird. We kind of
did. No, we kind of just did go through the plot.
We kind of did, but that plot description does not mention that like she gets to the Smoky Mountains, she's going to this cabin.
But why is she there?
She's there because she's a famous singer and she's just like burnt out on Hollywood and being in that lifestyle. She's like, it just needs to get away and like kind of like mentally recharge. Great.
They're trying to cross her over into other types of music. By the way, it's the best. By the way, the song that they're trying to cross over with, it's the best song in the whole show.
It is, yeah, it is.
But so she's like burnt out, and she basically runs away, and no one knows. She runs away from her life back to the Smoky Mountains, her home.
Well, it's her friend's cabin, so she asks her friend, "Can I go stay?" But when she gets there, there's 7 children living in this cabin. No adults,
orphans.
Just 7
orphans,
orphan children that are just like living there by themselves. And at no point does she think it's weird that she shows up and there's like It's almost like the movie is kind of a ripoff of, in certain ways, of like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
It's got like 50 different. No, it totally is.
I know.
Holy frick!
Did you not realize that when you were watching it?
Why am I so dumb? Like,
no, you're not, because then it also sort of turns into like Sleeping Beauty at a certain point.
No, you're absolutely right, because oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Because at the end, like, the witch turns into an old woman and gives her a poison apple pie.
Yeah. She falls asleep, and then when they find her, the reclusive backwoodsman guy who she's sort of like into, I guess, kind of. They're like, you should kiss, like somebody says like, you should kiss her, Prince Charming. And so it's like, I don't think they're like trying to like hide the fact that they're ripping off Snow White.
This movie makes 10 times more sense now, because I'm like, okay, these orphans have run away from an orphanage, and instead of her like saying, "You guys got to get back to the orphanage." Like,
That's what I'm saying. She shows up and she doesn't think it. She doesn't even like think it's like, oh, that's crazy that you guys are living here, you little children, by yourselves, and like watching after each other. She doesn't react at all to it. Like it's just like, oh yeah. Sometimes you show up places and there's 7 orphans living there by themselves.
Oh my gosh!
But it's like
this
the
is
7 dwarves.
Yeah, this is why I always say I'm a dum-dum. Like I just don't see things. Like I was just like, why are they doing this Snow White thing at the end? Like that's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, it's not like sold. It doesn't appear that it was sold as like a modern telling of Snow White, so it's not like it's overtly stated that that's what it is. But as I was watching it, I was just like, oh, that's interesting. And then the witch, and then the apple pie thing, obviously I was just like, okay, this seems like they're just totally ripping this movie off.
Yeah.
And it's not like this is an adaptation of, it's not credited that way at all. But yeah, talk about, you were going to say something about the director.
Oh yeah, the director.
Hey.
Nice.
Hey, we're gonna rip off Disney. Hey.
So, the director is Henry Winkler. And you know what? Like I like that guy.
I do too.
But I'm like kind of hating him for this movie.
Yeah, this movie almost tests like, can a lifetime of being like kind and loved, like widely loved, because I think people would argue that Dolly Parton is like one of the most beloved like celebrities in America. Henry Winkler is oftentimes stated as like being the nicest person in Hollywood. Like just seems like the coolest. Like, can all of that be wiped away by one horrific film, piece of crap film that you've made? And I would argue it kind of can.
It's a great question.
It kind of can. Because, yeah, you do end up being like, that Dolly Parton, if I ever come across her, if I'm ever in Pigeon Forge and I happen across her, I'm just going to smack the shit out of her for this.
So it says like, so basically he directs an episode of Joni Loves Chachi. He directs an episode of CBS School Break Special, which is something we could watch.
CBS, I don't know what that is, but
it's like afternoon, you know, like after school, ABC after school special kind of stuff. And then he directs his first TV movie, which is A Smoky Mountain Christmas.
Oh, this is the first thing.
Yeah.
Do you know the story about him and the other person that Hollywood says is like the nicest guy is who? Like who's the other person?
Is it Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Have you ever heard the story about the two of them?
Yes. I just heard it.
Hang on.
I just heard it.
Hang on.
Wait, you're not going to play it, are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I knocked my cord out of there. So let me go back and set that up again.
Okay.
So Tom Hanks is like considered obviously one of the nicest people again, like actors. Have you ever heard the story about the two of them? And even as I ask you that, I'm like grasping to remember all the details of it in my mind, but
I just saw like a TikTok about it or something.
I think Henry Winkler was like the original director, I believe, on, was it Turner and Hooch?
Yes.
And I think I felt like Tom Hanks maybe got him fired from that or something. It's been a while since I heard that. Like I think he was the director originally and maybe did some of it, and then at a certain point he was replaced.
Yeah, there was something about it. Yeah.
So it's funny to think that they had beef. Those two that are considered like, you know, the most affable, like likable guys.
It's like it's like two magnets.
That's like they would only be able to get into an argument with each other.
Yeah.
I guess.
So I'm trying to see. This is the first Christmas movie from Dolly Parton.
Well,
and
hopefully they got better after this.
it should have been her last, but so so what did you think about the music? The songs?
I mean, I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm well versed enough in that style of music to even like criticize it. It's just not my thing. There's one song that I thought was like kind of that caught my ear the most, and it was you mentioned the one that like that you see at the beginning that they were trying to use to like cross her over from country to like a mainstream star.
Yeah.
That was good. But then the other one was, I don't even know what it's called, but it's the one where she's singing like, I want to be with Santa on Christmas or something. I can't remember what it's called. She sings it to them, to the kids at one point. I mean, I like her. So I think she can make me like listen to country music a lot more than most country artists. There's like, I don't like country, but there's a handful of like a couple country musicians I like. And I just like her. Like I like her as a person. She just seems like a great person, and I like her voice a lot too. So it's enough for it to carry it for me. I don't have to really like the music in order to enjoy it.
And it's like this old school kind of sound, and if I like any country, it is this sound. Like just no pop.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess it is a little poppy, but it's not like the stuff you hear today, or like, bow, bow, I got a trick.
I love that we're making it a habit of you doing a vocalized a cappella mouth soundy music thing in every episode. Yeah, the only other like country musician I actually like, and this is a complete cliche I think at this point, is Chris Stapleton, who is very like, obviously he's popular right now, but he has kind of a throwback like voice and sound, and that's kind of why I like him. But like, I completely agree with you. Like everything else I hear, I'm not a big fan of, but I do love her, and she sends for years has sent my son a free book every month, and so that's nice. Did you ever do that with your daughter? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I mean, I knew that she gives out books and stuff. I didn't know that you could sign up.
Yeah, you can sign up for, it's called, I can't remember what it's called. It's like a reading program that she started because I think her dad was illiterate his whole life, I believe. And so she was like, she started this to like honor him and to like help kids develop, you know, a love of reading. So yeah, you sign up, and it's called like Dolly's Wonderland or Imaginarium or something like that. And they literally you just sign up, and you tell them how old your kid is, and they send you a free book in the mail every month. It's really cool. Yeah.
She right. She has a lot of goodwill, and this, I think the songs are fine in this. I think they're not, like you said, I'm not well versed in this to be like, oh, these are the worst country songs ever written or something. They seem fine to me. Did you, can we just go through real quick the powers that the witch has?
Yes, absolutely.
So she can make glasses lean.
And beer bottles.
Beer bottles lean.
Yeah.
She can make you follow her, I guess.
Yeah, she does. She makes Dolly Parton like follow her into the woods late at night one night, and then like almost fall into like this like ravine.
Yeah. And then she can also like get old.
She can get old.
She can get old, and she can poison things.
Yeah, she makes a poison like potion thing out of she puts a frog in it and something else. Does she put her blood in it or something? And she makes it. Yeah. So that, I think that's all she does. I'm trying to think if she does anything. I mean, she has like gusts of wind hit her a lot. Did you notice that?
She'll
get angry and it'll be like, like a bunch of wind will like blow her hair back. Yes.
Yep.
And for some reason to make the point that she's angry. But I don't see where the utility of that as a superpower really comes in.
No. And there's a lot of different, there's a lot of people in this. I'm going to try to figure this out, and I don't know how to, but I'm going to try to figure out a way to, point to all of the people who have been in other TV specials that we've done. Because it seems like a lot of these, there's a lot of crossover.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, Dan Hedaya, which we said.
Yep.
There's Douglas Seal. Rance Howard. There's all these different people who I'm pretty sure have been in a lot of different things that we've watched. So I'm going to try and come up with some sort of database. If any one of our 2 listeners out there knows how to make a database that can cross-reference itself,
please. Like a wiki kind of thing.
Well, what I would like to do is be able to pick a movie that we're watching and then show me what other movies have the same actors, that we've watched. But I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out.
You want like an IMDb just for network special.
Yeah. Yep. Danny Cooksey is in this, though. He plays one of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny Cooksey, originally from Different Strokes, and then went on to do Salute Your Shorts.
Yeah, he's the redhead kid, right?
Yeah.
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 You haven't gotten to my favorite actor that is in this, who made me very happy to see because I liked him.
Lee Majors?
Not Lee Majors.
He's he's the backwoodsman. There's Anita Morris, who plays Jezebel. And who is this person? Is it
John
Jenny
Ritter.
James? Oh, yeah, I forgot.
John Ritter shows up. I didn't know he was in it until he shows up. He shows up at the very end for just a handful of minutes, literally the last 4 or 5 minutes of the movie.
He's not listed in the top cast.
But I like him, and I liked him, and it made me kind of, oh, John Ritter. I wish he hadn't just unexpectedly passed away. That was very sad.
Just this week?
This week, yeah, he died this week. So I thought it was time. I thought that's why we picked this, yeah.
We also forgot to mention that the choreography, what little choreography there happens to be.
This is what I wanted to ask you. I'm what did she choreograph?
It has to be from the music video she's recording in the beginning.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't even say who it is.
It's Paula Abdul.
Paula Abdul. Yeah, she's in the credits. You see her as a choreography. And I'm like, Paula Abdul. But I think you're right. It must have been when the Dolly Parton character is filming the music video at the very, very beginning, first few minutes of the movie. I guess, were there people dancing around? I can't even remember.
Yeah, there's people dancing with her.
It's just shocking that would require hiring a choreographer. It just seems like you could just be like, okay, you guys just dance around. It doesn't matter. This is a stupid movie. But Henry Winkler doesn't mess around.
Oh my gosh. So another actor in this is Jenny James. And I was trying to remember exactly what I know her from because she looks very familiar. And she's in things like The Secret Garden, Broadcast News, little things here and there that I would remember. But then
Jenny
she's
James. Who is she in this movie?
She's one of the kids.
Okay.
She's in The Hug-a-Bunch. Do you remember The Hug-a-Bunch?
No. I don't.
Gosh, this whole thing is just a massive blast from the past. We started off with Saturday mornings,
Hang Time,
and Hang Time, and something I didn't remember, but I feel like I should have. We went on to Married with Children.
No, ma'am.
Tried to spark our memories with the TNBC logo, couldn't.
Didn't, yeah.
And now we're talking about the Hug-a-Bunch.
I don't know the Hug-a-Bunch. Should I know that?
I think it was aimed more at girls, so I don't think you would have you would have
Don't
like rushed to tune in.
Don't be a gender pigeonholer like that. I could watch.
Hey,
something.
don't you freaking no ma'am me?
Don't you? I will no ma'am cancel you so fast your head'll spin.
I'm saying that only because at the time in the time frame when gender roles were more specific in terms of the TV shows that they made, like this wouldn't have. I don't think this would have been one that you would have like said, "Oh, mom, we gotta watch this." Unless you would have. I don't know.
Can we talk about a moment in this that was like unintentionally like awkward, almost like funny? There's 7 children.
Okay.
Okay. Six of them are white, and they're a family. Like they reference their mother. I think like it sounds like has died.
Yeah.
Left them as orphans. And so 6 of them are white, and then there's one African American kid.
Uh-huh.
And there's this like moment where Dolly Parton kind of like is trying to figure out, but she basically says to the kid like, basically like, "How are you in this family?" She basically is like, "You don't like, how'd you get in with these whiteys?"
I love the way she says it too.
I know
because
it's so like sweet and endearing, where she's just like, but it's almost like her character is trying to say like, "What are you doing here? Like, why
how'd
are
you get
with
cast this?"
And he's like, he basically says like, I was like, they decided to adopt me, and she's like, I'm so happy they did. Like she's all like Dolly about it, and like the way she plays it is cool, but I'm like,
school,
it's just kind of a weird thing to put in there. Like it didn't need to be addressed.
When I was in high school, there was this girl who came up to me, and for some reason, a lot of people thought I was mixed race instead of just pure white, as I am.
Mixed with what? Like a white person mixed with another white person?
You know, I'm purebred white. That sounded weird. I don't know why I said pure white. That sounded
you know
a little
why
bit.
You said it. We all know
I
why
meant
you
to
said
say,
it that way.
You know, as white as I am, but like, I tanned really well, and so when we would come back from summertime, a lot of people would ask me like, "Oh, are you?" And so this girl was trying to ask me if I was, you know, like black or like mixed or something, and she was trying to be so like not racist about it. She like touched my hair, and she was like, "What heritage are you?" Which is so funny. Like, I was
You're
like,
very white, Nathan. No offense. I say that as a fellow very white. Like, that's shocking.
I
don't tan well. I just turn bright red. I turn into a lobster. So,
well, I told her I was like, or I just remember like when I think about that now, I'm like, you know, touching of the hair stuff is a little, you know, uncomfortable. But just being like, she was trying to be kind of politically correct before that was kind of a thing, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, I just thought that was funny that that's how Dolly Parton was asking this kid.
It's like, how are you here? Like, what
are you? You don't. Your parent, your dad. How did you? Yeah,
that's good stuff.
So this movie, you hated it. I hated it. If you just cut out all of the scenes,
thing just didn't make any sense.
if you let's real quick. We'll just how she beats the witch is she tricks the witch into eating her own pie, and how she does it is she goes, "Oh, this pie is so tasty. I really like this pie. I would just love to eat one more slice of this pie."
Yeah, and
the lady's like,
"Wait a second, that pie's good. It's not supposed to be good." And then she eats it herself. I think her exact line is like, "Let me see what I did wrong with this," or something. She said something like that. She eats it, and Dolly Parton goes, "Good night, bye bye," or something like that. And the witch is like, "Oh God, I've been had." I'm like, you are the easiest person in the history of human civilization to trick.
The worst witch ever.
Horrible witch.
So if they cut out all of the parts that aren't the singing, I think I would like this 100 times more. If it was just like, oh, this is a Dolly Parton variety special, and where she's just going to be singing songs, and she's going to have on her her famous friends like Dan Hedaya.
We didn't even mention why he's there, but I don't really care to.
Oh
but
yeah, he's a paparazzi.
he basically is like a TMZ.
He's what again? Another like L.A. guy who has a New York accent.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's Dan
but
Hedaya
anyways,
at all times.
So this movie, yeah, bad times. I give this, if we're giving it a rating, what would your rating be? Out of 10.
Out of 10, I would give it. I'd give it 9 slices of poison pie.
Poison pie.
Yeah,
and that's bad. That's like
poison
that's like
frog
triple
pie.
negative. That's triple negative pie.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not the
Very
review that you want to
aggressive.
hear if you're Winkler. I'll tell you that much.
No. I'm giving this 3 Smoky Mountains out of
Strong.
10.
That's strong. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's tough, but fair. Tough but fair, I'd say.
Thank you. You can watch this on YouTube if you want. It's there. It's all in one part. It's not like broken up into 3 parts. And if you're in Texas, there's a theater you can go to for free to watch it because they do it every year. Apparently, now they will watch this movie.
Yeah, I think she down in like, is it Pigeon Forge where she has like,
She has Dollywood in Gatlinburg.
it's like near there, somewhere
area.
near there. Yeah. Which
She has
we
the
could-
Smoky Mountain Christmas.
That's what I was saying when
event.
I was looking up stuff on this movie. I kept finding the things for that like Pigeon Forged like holiday event thing she has down there that you can go. 'Cause she named it after this movie. So
Yeah,
you
but
could go to
she's-
that, or you could go to Texas and see this movie shown in a theater.
Do you think that this is named after this movie, or is it just like there's no like they don't like reenact scenes from the movie at the park or something? I think
it's a
in the
general
Smoky
enough like
Mountains.
generic title. A Smoky Mountain
Yeah,
Christmas
right.
is kind of generic. So
Yeah. Don't watch it. But if you want to, if you're a big Dolly Parton stan,
I'm gonna challenge Nathan. I want you and I to find a Christmas special to watch sometime the rest of December here. That we will tell people you should go watch this. This is good. Can we take that on as a challenge to ourselves? Because we had Meet the Santas,
see, I think,
and then we had
it's-
this, and we're like, don't watch. Even though this movie really doesn't have anything to do with Christmas, to be totally honest, or very little.
that is a massive challenge because most of these are trash.
Well, we're gonna have to find one.
We'll
Or I'm
try.
going to have
We'll
to
try.
fake it and pretend that it was good, whatever the next one is.
Yeah.
So
All
stay
right,
tuned
well,
for the listeners out there. Stay tuned. Come back and see what we cook up for you in our next episode to celebrate made for TV Christmas magic.
And in the meantime, head on over to networkspecialpodcast.com where you can find all of our links to all the different things like social media and individual episodes, and you can see the history of the show, who used to be on it.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they now? I have a whole huge section of where are they now.
No, you
On there.
don't. You should do it. Dan Hedaya, where is he now?
Yeah, and if you go on to, and there's a link there for archive.org, so you can go to the web archive and look up old sites.
Mm-hmm. You can look up.
So
You can look up old logos that were used in the 90s by shitty NBC shows.
yeah, I
These
did
are
like a
all
little
good
link.
things.
I did a little link swap with them. I'm part of a little link network. Yeah, and where if you want to find that, it's on our GeoCities site.
All right. I thought that one was on Angel Fire.
Angel Fire is there is a sister.
Geocities.
there's a backup there in case the GeoCities ever goes down.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, check us out. Give us 5-star reviews, even though we don't deserve them. And write in. Let us know. What do you think about Colin's audio? Is it good? Is it bad?
It's better in this episode than in some others recently.
Ask him, which way does he have his microphone pointed?
Oh, shut
Towards
up.
his mouth or away from
It's
his
a
mouth?
microphone, man. You just put it out there, and it just works. Don't worry about it.
It's like it's spiritual, man.
Yeah.
All right, as we say at the end of every episode.
Oh man. Oh jeez. Oh, good golly. Are you gonna finish that sentence?
I was waiting for you to stop. You're just giving a bunch of like Charlie Brown exclamations. In your name we pray. Amen.
Why we say that, I don't know. Goodbye.